Okay.
Hey, hey,
Hey,
hey.
hey, hey.
How are we all?
Oh God. Well, if you hold crypto, you know exactly how they are.
How are they?
They're feeling pretty nice.
Well, unless you're a bear, you wouldn't. Yeah, bears aren't feeling pretty nice at the moment, but I'm sure everyone else
This is
is.
true, Lisa. This is
Yeah.
true. Apologies to anyone that I screwed the time up for. Forgot what country I was in, didn't I? I don't know
It's
how
not
many
like you can't
people.
look out the window and go, "Oh, I'm in New Zealand."
I don't know how many are showing up. It's a beautiful day here in New Zealand, as you can see. Hot and sunny. And I've been inside all day on live stream. So the hell's happening, Lisa?
Well,
What's going on?
Bitcoin made a all-time high on Bitcoin's birthday.
Yes, true, true. Well, yesterday for us, I guess, but today's still for the US audience.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
12 years, nearly a teenager.
No, it's actually 13 years. I wrote 12 years, but when you think about it, it's actually 13 years.
I'm not going to argue with you because you're always right.
Oh, somebody corrected me on Twitter. Then I had to Google it.
Well, I think it's
So
12.
I wasn't all, I didn't even check. I didn't fact check. I just went, oh, Sean said it's 12 years. So I put it on Twitter. And then
It
somebody's
is
like, no, it's
12.
13. I'm like,
It is 12.
hey,
It's 12.
it's 13,
Uh,
isn't it?
no, no. It's 12 years.
You sure?
Pretty almost certain. Almost certain that it'll be
2008 or 2009? It's 2008, yeah?
2009, 3rd of January.
Oh, yeah, it's 12.
You know
So
that, Lisa.
I'm
White
like,
paper was written in
hang on a sec. I'm
2008.
second guessing this
Bitcoin
because,
launched
hey,
January. But the
what?
white paper was released in 2008.
Oh, that's what it is. Yeah.
So where to start? My God,
Wow.
it's been
Should we start?
Ethereum's day, but I thought I think we should break with tradition. Let's kick it off with the most colourful Bitcoin chart in all of crypto.
Yeah, it definitely is that right now. Dun, dun, dun. This is it. So this is the path to 40K. So we hit the technical pivot. All we needed to do was like to just tap it. And that means that this pattern is now confirmed and we are heading to 40K. So basically, I think whales love to be whales and they love to hold stuff up fairly high. So I kind of think we're going to be trending in this triangle for a little bit and sort of enticing the bears going, we're not sort of moving anywhere with Bitcoin. It's going to be a really choppy region. I've heard a lot of people on Twitter complaining today that they're getting really chopped up. So I would be trading like I'm always in Bitcoin, but if you are getting really chopped up in Bitcoin right now, it's only going to stay that way for a little bit longer because the alts are running. So I would recommend, not financial advice, of course, that you trade some alts. They're all sort of running about between sort of 40 to 100% at the moment. So it's a good time to be trading alts. So we have this support region here, which is what we have been having these strong bounces. So if we zoom in on this chart, we can see that we've got some really, really strong bounces in this region. So I
These are
expect
daily candles, are they?
this is a 3-hour chart.
Right.
So yeah, so I expect we'll come up, we'll tap again on this resistance here and we'll come back down. So this area here is about 32,500-ish. So I think we're going to tap this region again. Around this region on the low time frame charts as well, we have the 200 MA sitting there. So we haven't tested the 200 MA since, almost the start of this run. So we've been testing the 100 MA, but predominantly we do need to test both. So That 200 MA, I think, is going to get a tap, and that's at 32,500. I think it's a really strong support region. And then we will continue, and that'll be our sort of next moves to our 40K. So if this region does break down, which I think is very unlikely, we will go to about 31-ish. So we could see a wick to that region. So if we go to the high time frames on this chart, we can see that we've got some strong wicks. So yeah, to me, this is looking really, really super bullish. Still really super bullish. I just think we could even break up. We have been doing short corrections. So, but if we put some waves on this, we've got an A, a B, and a C. So being as this is a triangle, and we could get a D and an E wave. Now, we haven't had a D and an E wave on Bitcoin for a while, so we've been too bullish to do that. So we haven't been coming down and retesting. So that's essentially what we could do, just sort of fill out that triangle. So while that's happening, everything else is bouncing. So Bitcoin going sideways allows the alts to have a run. So when everyone says, when's alt season? When Bitcoin goes sideways. So that's what's happening.
For what period of time, though? I mean, it's really only sort of sideways for well, a day. When would you sort of see that as a signal? It
just depends on, yeah. So timing is almost impossible to predict. So it really depends on how fast the whales are sort of pushing this up and down. You know, the volume does come from the market makers in Bitcoin. So, you know, it is all dependent on those whales pushing it up and down. And, you know, in these regions, it does get really choppy because the whales like to steal stops and they like to steal your money. And it's like, that's the name of the game in these regions. They're liquidity zones, and liquidity zones where they keep pulling out the stops. They hunt the stops. They know that you've got stops in there. They know that people over margin, and they just continue to take them out.
Okay. So question before, because I know you've got a million requests for alt charts today, but just sort of staying with Bitcoin for a moment. Obviously, we spoke the other night about our sort of predictions for the year. I think you were 100K, I was 101. A lot of other pundits are going a hell of a lot higher than our calls.
Did you speak to Dunstan about his short?
Oh, I think he's hiding. No, we'll get him back on this week.
That is 30K short.
I think he'll come on the show and make those sort of calls.
Yeah, so this is Dunstan's 30K short rocket fuel.
Where do you think? I honestly think there will be a pullback at some point. I don't think it's happening anytime soon. But where would you say a floor on Bitcoin is? For me,
well, this is an internal floor. So, like if we go to the BLX, I don't see a fall happening until
a floor. A floor. Yeah. When we get it, you know, if we were to get a decent sized correction, even if it was a 1 day type wick, where do you think it could go to?
Isn't that happening now?
Huh?
Isn't that happening now? Isn't that what we've got? Like we went to 35, we've come down to 32. That's a 3K wick. So and that's all we got.
You're not seeing a much bigger one than that at all.
No. Like if you have a look at the BLX and you have a look at so if we zoom out onto like a 3-day chart, and we go back to the run to the all-time high. So, and we have a look at these corrective phases within this period. We see that we've got, so this first one, so we went 4,800 down to 2,900. So we've got a $2,000 correction. So 7,800 down to 5,300. So we've got $2,500 there. The big one came with this wave 4, where we got a fairly big one within this region. So we've got 11,500-ish to 8,900. So there's another, 2.5, nearly 3,000. And then this one here up at 16,000, sort of 500. We came right down to this 13,000. So we've got a $3,500, $4,000 wick on this one. So that's essentially what we've got now. So that's why at the moment I'm sort of thinking 40 to 50K in this region is our temporary top before we come down and we have a greater correction. I don't think we'll see this correction like we did here. We'll probably see, say this is our $40,000, $50,000 mark, however high we get. So this is, we'll probably get, this is like halfway. So at that point, we could be going from 40 or 50,000, we could be getting a greater correction at that point. So,
okay.
But yeah, so we are having corrections. This is the thing, like everyone's after like a 30% correction or a 40% correction. In a bull market, you don't have those corrections. You have quick, sharp corrections, and then the trend continues. So, and this is what we're having. So this is quite a deep correction here. So we've got nearly 20,000 and we went down to 16. So this is a $4,000 correction.
Yep.
And so this one, another quick one. So 24,000 to 22,000. So it's a $2,000 correction. And right now we're in a $3,000 to $4,000 correction. So depending if we break down to this second region or not will depend on how deep this correction is. But technically, when we're looking at the BLX and we're looking at previous history, we are seeing that this correction is enough.
Right.
So, yeah, so for everyone asking where are these corrections, we're having them. They just, it's a bull market. So bull markets continue the trend. It's like these corrections are just to reset the indicators. So basically the RSI, MACD, all of these indicators are really heavily overcooked. And, these corrections just sort of give it a little bit of life so they can continue pushing higher.
Right. Okay. So short term, you're quite bullish.
I'm very bullish on Bitcoin still. So it's, for it to be continuing to bounce off strong supports.
Yep.
Just shows me how bullish this is, how bullish this chart is. And it's like, so we've got this drop down here to 32 and we've continued, right up. We had $1,000 bounce in that region. So, we're just sort of coming down again and we're bouncing again in this region. So, so this down here, we've got 32,500 and we're already $1,000 up. So, this shows me that this is a super bullish chart. These wicks, $1,000 wicks are just crazy insane. So, and this is why people are getting chopped up because they've still got what I call bear market PSTD. So, and they're still thinking, oh my God, when's this going to fall? When's this going to drop? The thing is, it's not because it's holding these strong supports.
Okay. I hear you.
Yeah, so that's the thing. The trend is your friend always. So now Ethereum.
Good God.
It has been on a tear. So obviously we had this very, very choppy, boring bit. I think a lot of people actually gave up on Ethereum within this region. And it was like this was kind of Bitcoin's 10,000 range. So if we think of this area as, Bitcoin's 10,000 range, and then we doubled within that period. So, so we were here from December 28th. So we've been here around about a week to 2 weeks. So starting that area, and we've gone to $750 in this region. So this is what we call a base 2, and then this goes into the third wave and it continues up higher and it doubles in the shortest time possible. So Ethereum's about to go to $1,500. So that's my big prediction. I think we're going to get a new all-time high on Ethereum.
Wow. What sort of time frame are you looking at there, do you think?
Well, if we have a look at what Bitcoin did within that period, so we were here within this region here. And so this is August and then to now. So we've got, you know, sort of 3 months that we've moved up in this sort of huge parabolic move. So that's the same. I think Ethereum's probably about a month to 2 months. I think as the market progresses, we are getting like more bullish and more bullish and more bullish. So it's really going to continue quite swiftly.
Okay.
So yeah,
I'm not missing the boat if I don't get more Ethereum the next couple of days, Lisa. That's good to know.
Well,
Slow down Ethereum, will you?
We're already sitting over $1,000 on Ethereum, so we've got another. You know, my upper target on Ethereum here is almost 1,800. So yeah, and I think it's really got some big moves going to happen over the next probably, you know, month. We're going to see this just explode, and especially when all the, you know, we've got 2.0 and that's sort of all coming together, and you know, the staking and all of that, and people are going to want to lock up the price of ETH to get into this staking. So the higher it goes, the more expensive that becomes.
Yeah, I think that's going to be a big factor.
Yeah, so you know, you're really going to want to get some ETH at this point, especially, you know, if it's $1,000 and then it's going to continue up. I think, you know, we're going to start seeing some extreme FOMO on ETH.
Yeah.
Because everyone's just like, oh no, it's happening. It's just, you know, I've got plenty of time, like you just said, Sean.
I'm FOMOing. I've been in this market for a long time now. But today I really felt myself FOMOing. I'm like, come on, calm down, sunshine.
Everyone always thinks that they've got
calm down.
So yeah,
crazy at the moment. It really is.
So if we have a look at the total crypto market cap, officially, I know Dunstan said that it's, you know, over $1 trillion, but officially we are close. We're closing in on this. So we've reached $930 billion. So we're $70 billion off reaching the, you know, $1 trillion mark on the officially on the total crypto market cap.
That's a huge milestone. I mean, that to me, you know, obviously, yeah. I think Bitcoin was front page news on the Times, which was obviously the same paper that Satoshi used in the first block today. That's the you know, 30K Bitcoin new all time high. But I think this $1 trillion market cap is possibly bigger news. I mean, that's at least for, you know, the financial industry.
It's really, like, this is massive news because this is such a little baby of a market. When we look at this and we look at the potential that this has, you know, when we look at the traditional markets and the trillions and trillions of dollars coming in, and America just about to get their, as my friend calls, their COVID checks, COVID cash. And she was asking me, you know, what should I invest in? And so, you know, she's looking at that. She's got friends that are looking at it. So there's a lot more money just about to enter the market.
There is. I think there's a lot of retail FOMO going on, and but I think the really big plays that we're going to see us, you know, I think you'll agree, you know, so these big institutions. I was talking to somebody today that deals directly with them. You know, they really are gearing up now.
No, they are. And for a long time, they've been building their positions. So
I think there's quite a few more about to enter from what I'm hearing.
I think, you know, they're kind of looking at this market as if they don't enter now, they're really going to get left behind.
Well, a lot of ways that they often work is that the total market cap needs to be at a certain level for them, just as their rules, the way they work. You know, a pension fund, if when it's $1 trillion market cap, they need to allocate X percentage. So they're on the way.
Well, that's the thing, and it's like when it's a very new market, it is, and we don't have a lot of regulations in cryptocurrency, so it is highly volatile and, you know, a very risky market. And that's why so many people come in, they have the dollar signs in their eyes, and unfortunately they lose more money than they make because they don't know how to trade, and they just think this is easy. Like I can just, buy, and all of a sudden it turns the other way. So
I think I was the poster child for what you've just said for that in 2017.
there were so many people it was so crazy.
Don't make that mistake again.
Yeah. So our Bitcoin dominance obviously at the moment is dropping a little bit, which is allowing the alts to run. So I do have a massive target on this, just due to the fact when all of that institutional money and all of the retail FOMO comes into the market, I do think we're going to be around the sort of 92 to 94 mark on Bitcoin on the dominance. This doesn't mean that alts die. So as we can see here, we went up to 73, almost 74% on the dominance, and now it's dropping. So this is what's going to happen on the way up. So we're going to have this Bitcoin do a huge run up, and then we'll see the dominance drop, and then the alts will have a go. So it's kind of this juggling game. And but I do see this dominance really increasing, because when people think crypto, they think Bitcoin. And I don't care what anyone says. It's just how it works.
How relevant to you is the Bitcoin dominance, though? As far as sort of predicting anything or charting, is it really what's its value when looking at
what's the value? So this tells me whether I should be in Bitcoin, whether I should be putting my money into alts and Ethereum, or sort of where the market's going. So when the dominance is rising, obviously you want to be in Bitcoin. So the other thing that I wanted to bring up today is everyone's saying when alt season is, and because a lot of people are in BTC pairs. Now, how pairings work in the market. So so BTC is paired against the US dollar, and when the US dollar rises, BTC drops. And that's just how it works, because it's relative strength. So, when BTC rises, usually the DXY is going down. So the US dollar is going down. So, and then, to rebalance it out, if the US dollar is going up, BTC will drop a little bit. So it's just how that strength works. So when you've got a market pair like BTC, and it's like absolutely going through the roof, and you've got an altcoin and they're paired, so you think Bitcoin's going up, and this altcoin either needs to hold its value or it's going to drop. Most of them are dropping because they don't have the relative strength in comparison to BTC. When you are trading and BTC is going up and you're in a US dollar, so because the US dollar is fairly stable, and so the altcoins that are USD paired will go up, and that's why you'll see a lot of my charts right now are USD charts. And everyone's like, no, send me a BTC chart. And it's like, well, no, BTC is going up. That's how the pairings have to work. And so that's what people aren't understanding. They just think I can stack sats, and because I've got a BTC pair, but if BTC is rising, that strength is way too much to trade it. So there's an imbalance.
Okay. So I saw you've had thousands of altcoin requests, Lisa. I hope we're not going to go through all of them.
No. I've gone through and I've picked some good ones. So obviously I'll look at BSV because we haven't moved until today. So this is a 6-hour chart, and we are finally above the MAs. So I think we're above the MAs on the 12-hour chart as well. We've stayed bullish on that chart. On the daily, we've just got above this 200. So what we want to happen is basically we want this to come down here, this to cross up here, and then our wave, we will change to green. So we want this to go here to bounce off this MA and then continue up. So that's the ideal pathway for BSV right now. And it's looking really possible. We've got enough waves in this region that we don't need any more waves in a corrective structure. In fact, we can't have any more waves. It's completed them all. So the only way is up from here. So it may, hopefully we can break this resistance at this point and then continue up. So for me, BSV is looking quite strong at the moment. So I think we should see the 275 that I've been calling for quite some time. I think on this run, we're definitely going to get it. So it's looking really good.
You realize both camps there were just screaming at their screens, Bitcoin.
Yeah, they were. So Litecoin has just hit my next target. Woo! So it's looking really good. So this one is looking like we could have like a really, really, really strong movement. And from this point, this is at the same sort of period that BTC and ETH is in right now. So we've just taken off. So we should start to see some parabolic moves on Litecoin. Where we should get $300 really, really soon. So I haven't got it marked. I'll mark it on my chart now. So, but I definitely see around the $300 mark. I'll fix that up with a fib level and I'll post it on Twitter. But yeah, this is looking really, really strong. So we've had heaps of consolidation. We've had this final consolidation and this breakout. And this is finished this first wave and this third wave. So our next wave should be really explosive and really good. And our MACD is looking really strong here. It's starting to fan out, which means this next wave is going to be epic. So yeah, don't let me down, Litecoin.
Oh, Charlie, buy your coins back.
Yeah, so eGold, I put these squiggles on Twitter a little bit ago. It's following them perfectly. We've finished the correction. Our MACD is just about to cross bullish on the daily, and we are just going to the other side of the resistance on the RSI. So this is looking beautiful, and our next target of 38 is in reach here. So I'm going to quickly
just going back to that chart there, Lisa, can you just explain to me quickly here? So you've got the MACD about to cross bullish.
Yeah.
But the RSI is saying it's overbought?
No.
I've got it around the wrong way, haven't I?
Yeah, so RSI is under resistance.
Okay.
So RSI is just about to cross to the other side of resistance.
Right.
So yeah, so we've got this crossing over. We've got the momentum turning up on the MACD, and the RSI just about to cross back over that resistance. So all signs point to up on eGold.
Right.
eGold is one of my favorites to trade. It's like I can draw squiggles and it just follows them. So Link, this is like the messiest chart ever because it's been doing my head in. But we have hit a resistance on this. We will see a little bit of a consolidation within this region, and then we will take off. It may be just a quick ABC, and then we need to retest the other side and we'll sort of take off. So we may drop to around the $14-ish mark on Link. We are currently at 15, almost 15. So we might see a small drop in that. Kasama, this is a dot project, so it's a chain. Look it up, it's a really amazing project. So we've gone into our large third wave. So we're just about to take off. Now, when I zoomed out to look at this chart the other day, we get an epic rise here. So we're going to about $200 on Kasama. We're currently at 73. So we've got over 100% rise in this region, 150%. Okay, DOT. Now this one I have been trading since, it's going to sound weird, since it was $161. because it did have the split where they dropped the price and then it listed on all the exchanges at about $2 to $3. And it was bought up pretty quickly, and we saw that bounce back here where we went up to about $6.80, and then we've consolidated again. So yeah, so we see this, it listed on this exchange. This is Binance at $1.90, and then, you know, it took off. And so technically my dots I got at $1.61 when they were $161. So and I've held those and been trading them, so I'm in a really nice position on dot at the moment. We have our next target as $11.84 and an upper target here of $14. Now it's really possible dot's going to see $22 soon. And I'm seeing some like massive things on Twitter that dot's going to go to $200 in the next year. So I don't even know if I'll sell my dot. I'm just going to hold it till it gets to 200. This dot to me has the same feel that Bitcoin did when it first came out, and we would, you know, there was like these posts and stuff on, you know, all the groups and Reddit that, you know, Bitcoin's $10, woo. So yeah, and everyone was selling them off, and I think at $10 it went back to about $2. So yeah, so hopefully dot doesn't go back to $2, but I think it's super bullish, and you know, it should continue. XRP, so I did a video on this. Now XRP, if we have a look, I don't think it's dead. I think once the FUD goes and disappears from the delistings on those American exchanges and the American sort of services that are not using it anymore, I think XRP will bounce back. We've got resistance at 35 and then another resistance on the MA at 45. So, you know, this could potentially be a larger ABC correction. It fits in with line with what Bitcoin did from the all-time high. So we could be potentially getting that and then taking off again on XRP. So right now it's got a little bit of a stigma on it, but I think that'll lift and, you know, it'll continue on.
Well, I need the court case to lift.
Well, it's like Tether. It's like Tether. It's the court case.
I'm sorry, I just wouldn't be touching anything that's in the middle of a court case.
Well, do you trade with Tether, or what do you trade with?
Yeah, no, this is true.
So Tether's been like a very long court case for God knows how long. Mm. So, you know, and they'll probably get a slap on the wrist and a fine. So it's pretty much it'll happen.
Okay.
So Travala, which is like finally taking off. We've been crawling sideways for such a long time. So we might actually finally reach our $1.12 target on this next run. So fingers crossed. I've been in this one forever. So this is like BSV, it just goes sideways. Now ZIL, we broke down from the triangle. So this is potentially what Bitcoin could do as well. So we had this support here, and we broke down. We've hit the next diagonal support, which is what Bitcoin potentially could do. And right now we're underneath, and we're hitting this as resistance. So this should break through an attempt at the 0.86 mark before it breaks out. So we've got enough waves here that we can continue on. We just need some volume to enter on this one. Theta has been doing amazing stuff. Sort of, we're in a fourth wave right now. We'll see a minor correction, and then we'll head to $2.98. I'm just going to race through these. Dash is in a downtrend channel. It's perfectly bouncing, and right now we should see one like small wave down to about 88.
Isn't Dash in a bit of shit at the moment? Isn't it getting delisted in a number of places?
Yeah, it doesn't have the volume, and I think that's why. So yeah, so but to me it's in a really good pattern, and when Dash runs, it really runs. So yeah, so I think around it should drop to about the 88 mark, and then it's going to continue on. Reserve rights, I had this on here a couple of weeks ago. So we've gone down, we retouched this channel support. We've come up, we retouched the median line in this drop, which is perfect. It's like running perfectly for this chart. So we will tap around the sort of the 45 region before having a deeper retrace again on this one. Omnisec Go. So this one this morning, I put up about 6 or 7 a.m. this morning, and I saw a tweet from Paolo from Bitfinex that they were replenishing the Tether network on Omnisec Go. And last time they did that, we did that massive like bounce to $7.50. So we haven't quite done that yet, but that did take a day or two for that to happen. So we've had strong consolidation. We had, I've been keeping an eye on this. So we had this parallel channel sort of moving through here, and we've broken out of that today. We have a diagonal support, which we have been holding above. We do have a resistance around the $3.30 mark. We should break through that, retest it, and continue up. So next target after that's $4.70. And then we've got a $7.69 bigger target. So on this one. So this is a long-term chart for me. Now, potentially the all-time high, I think, is about $24 on this one. So from 2017, so if we go. So potentially, we've got a lot of room to move on Omnisec Go, $28.50. So in conjunction with the Ethereum network, they're using OMG to lower gas fees. So this one's a no-brainer for me. So I really think, 15 is really possible on this next run up. So, and considering most coins are going to get very close to their all-time highs in this next run. So this is $28.50. So we've got a long way to go. So this is, it's going to 700% by the time.
Yeah, I mean, from a fundamental point of view, Lisa, I suspect Ethereum gas fees were through the roof today. I should have checked it before we jumped on, but I wouldn't be surprised if they were.
Yeah, no, they were. So
this is a layer 2 technology, and I think fundamentally this is, if during a bull run, I think I'm going to look closely at those. The other one's loopering.
Yeah. So loopering also bounced today, like massively. So, looking at those charts and looking at what fundamentally they do, and keeping a watch on the bigger players and what they're doing as well. So and that way you can sort of adjust your trades and make some nice dollars.
Yep.
Oh my God, it's nearly hit my target. This is ADA. So I have been trading this since March, since the bottom, and obviously on the bounces. So now it's just about to hit my target at 23.0234. So I think it might have actually, has it tapped it? So close, so close. There's all those people on Twitter short selling just under my targets. So this is NEO. So this pattern has crossed by a wick on the fourth and the first wave. Now in Elliott wave, we're not supposed to cross, but in a leveraged marketplace, we can cross by a wick. So I do allow that, and a lot of the time that verifies the pattern if it's just a week on the higher time frames. So this is a daily chart, and we've got this tiny wick into the wave 1 region, which is okay, and we've taken off. So we've already gone from like $12 this morning to $17. So we've had a $5 bounce, which is really nice on this chart. This is on Twitter as well. So if you're not watching Twitter, you need to be watching Twitter, because I've been putting all these charts up today. Nano was a chart that I put up a couple of weeks back. and it's made 70% today, which is really exciting. So we've sold. It'll come back down. It should hover around this sort of $1.50 mark and then continue up. So it will get a little bit of consolidation in this region. EOS.
We are doing the entire altcoin chart.
No, we're not. I went through and I got a whole heap of requests, and I've gone through and like the ones that have had like 4 or 5
Keep them
requests.
happy, Lisa. Go on.
Yeah, so this has been a lot of work to get all of this done. So EOS, we have got breakout. So we've got this diagonal resistance. Now we're on this resistance right here. So this is the same as a lot of the charts that I've shown today have. So we'll get this little bit of consolidation in this region here. So if we go here, we should see a bit of consolidation here before we get a breakout and then continue up. So most of these charts are going into their third wave. EOS has had quite a big sort of retrace on this second wave here as I draw all over my chart. And it's had this sideways motion, the same as what BSVs have. It's moving in almost identical pattern to BSV at the moment. So EOS people are really happy that this is finally starting to break out. We have this one last resistance to go, and then we have some free air and we should be able to move freely. Atom, we have come down. We've bounced off this long-term resistance, which is now support. So it's good when they retest and they hold that, we can see that we've got quite strong RSI in that channel in the middle. So which has confirmed this channel here. So if we put, we can put a parallel channel on here, and this is a consolidation channel. We can see this on the MACD. We can see this on the RSI. So this is going to come up to this point. We'll see a little bit of resistance at this point here, and then we should continue on. So we're going to come up here and then continue. That's pretty much what we'll see, unless Bitcoin dies, and then we'll retest this support again. Waves. Now this is one that we've been trading on HardForking for quite some time. So similar pattern to Neo and what ADA is in. So we've come down, we've completed this fourth wave. We have the ABC waves in here, and we have bounced. So we're now in this fifth wave. I'm expecting about $15, $16 on waves. So we've got a really nice region of this. So even if you were to buy in around here, this is 180% on this chart. So, you know, this region was from September to December. So we had a, 2 to 3 month sort of move on here. So this last wave should take about 2 to 3 months as well. So this is in line with Bitcoin, Ethereum, all of those coins moving in their bullish sort of movements. We'll come back down at that point, correct, and then we should continue on. So, and as the market reaches that $1 trillion mark and the more money comes in, a lot of these charts will have smaller corrections than they have over this period. Oh, Tron. I'm running out of breath.
You're getting Tron in there. My God.
So Tron has had the same as OmniSec Go today. So it's had a 400 million tether replacement, which is, so Tron Network and OmniSec Go both have a network that sort of fuels a lot of other coins. So they go through a lot of tether, and that's why they replenish it every now and again. So when they replenish it, they always bounce, the same as what's happened. So I expect this to continue. So we've got a channel here. We are going to see a small correction, probably down to this support here. Could see there, up to the channel, and then continue on. So that's kind of what I'm seeing for Tron, and we'll continue on to those upper highs. They're all looking really bullish at the moment. T-Fuel, we've got one more wave down to retest this channel, and then if we can hold this channel, we've got the MACD is slowly turning up. So our RSI is near the bottom. This is a 2-hour chart. So on the higher time frames, we actually do have still like quite turned down here on this chart. and the MACD still needs to cool down a little bit. So it makes me think potentially T-Fuel could continue to correct lower. So, and that's why I say it needs to hold this green star. So this star is about 029. And yeah, so it needs to kind of hold this region, but higher time frame indicators are sort of pointing that this chart may continue lower. Don't hate me, T-Fuel people. So this is decreed. So this is another one that we've had on HardForking, and it was one of my trades of the week. It was also on Twitter. So we've just reached my third wave target, which is $51. So we'll see a correction within this period. We might come down. These MAs should curl up and touch this region. Correction down to around the $42-ish mark before we continue on to $70 sort of $8. So we've got about another 100% in this region once we have this correction. So yeah, there we go.
There you go. You can come up rare. Well done, Lisa.
Yeah.
It was most of the.
Oh, hang on. I have forgotten one. Everyone keeps asking me for an XTC chart, and I didn't. Hang on. I'll live chart it for them. Jesus.
All the ones I wanted to look at weren't in there. So we're going to have to do another show in the next couple of days.
I may have already looked at them and gone, they're crap. Because I literally looked at so many charts today. My eyes were bulging out of their head. It's just like, okay. So we're still, no, this isn't a great looking chart. So it's kind of stuck in this channel, and it has been for quite some time. So it's even broken down from that channel a little bit. So, you know, we are holding. So we potentially can get to around this region, considering we've broken down. So I'll put a Fibonacci retracement level on there. So potentially this is a, you know, we've done a leading diagonal on our first wave. So we've got 1, 2, 3, you know, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 waves. We're coming down. So we've completed this correction at this point. So potentially our wave 3 target is actually higher. So there we go. So that's kind of what we're looking at. So if I was to throw some waves on this, I'd be looking at a 1, a 2, a 3, potentially 4 can come down to there, and a 5. Now the 3 can extend a little bit, so it can go up to the next fib level, which was about there. So we can get an extension. I'll change this chart. So potentially we can get a wave extension to here for our 3. So, and then come down for a deeper 4. Yeah, so this is potentially what Tezos is looking at. It does need to break out of this channel that it's stuck in at the moment. So it has been in this channel for quite some time. So yeah. There we go. So potentially we've got $13 on Tezos.
Okay.
There you go. Stop.
Very good. Very good. I hope you got your chart, people.
So that's like charts for days.
Okay. So Lisa, just to let the audience know, because I keep on stuffing up the time zones. When are you free to do another show? Obviously, this market is all action at the moment.
I have meetings this week, so I'll get back to you on that. So I do need to check. So yeah, because I'm back into my script meetings this week. They're all back.
All righty. Okay.
But yeah, more than likely Thursday afternoon, I would say. Sort of, yeah.
Cool. I mean, things will probably be up 200% by then, I'm sure.
Yeah, all these alt charts will be at their like max targets.
It's pretty crazy. Pretty crazy. Yeah, I agree with you. I think there's plenty more upside.
Yeah, so everyone's asking me how to trade this market. Just keep pushing your stop up. Just keep pushing it up. So if you know,
Be careful.
yeah, be careful. So if you're if you're in margin trades, don't overtrade, don't over margin. It's like leave some room there so that if your stop, or if it comes down against you, you've got enough room to move and get out of that trade like successfully without liquidating yourself. So, greed is the biggest issue in this market right now, because obviously it's moving so much. This is when, things sort of start to drop. So, and obviously with everyone getting chopped up in Bitcoin at the moment, it's like, don't over margin, don't over trade, and know what you're doing.
I'd love to. I don't want to say that's not financial advice, because that's great advice. Yeah, I mean, obviously, we're seeing some of these things move 40, 60% in a day.
Yeah.
Careful on that sort of stuff.
Yeah. So if you are in a margin trade, always make sure that you have a stop loss. And keep that stop loss moving as you get into profits, so you can lock the profits in if the trade does suddenly turn down. So,
okay, well done, Lisa. That was rapid fire, a million coins. Thank you for watching, everybody. Coming up this week, we've got our 1 BTC and 32 Ethereum show. That'll be on Wednesday. With our Ethereum expert, Stefano. He's going to be having a close look at what's happening there, and our resident shitcoiner, Johnny Gonzo. So tune in for that. And got a couple of really big guests coming up as well that we're for our Hard Fork series. I'll let you know in the next couple of days who that is. And hopefully we see you back on Thursday, Lisa, if you can squeeze us in.
I can squeeze you in. I'll let you know when it is, and you can let everyone else know on YouTube.
Awesome. Well, thank you very much for your time.
Cool. Thank you, guys. Hopefully I got your charts in there. I know there was lots of charts, and I looked at a lot of them and I just went, oh my God, no. And a lot of them that didn't have enough liquidity, I didn't bring into the show either. So I like to trade charts with, fairly good liquidity, that they don't have the pumps and dumps. A lot of you last week were giving me a hard time about Hex, and maybe I should show you that before we go. So hang on, let me bring up a Hex chart, because I actually want to show people something on this chart, and it happened with fun as well this week. So, Hex is starting to move again. And, it does have a lot of community support. So I'm not denying that. And I don't have an issue with it. So I don't have an issue with the people or any of the, like, I'm just a trader and I look at charts for a trading purpose. And when I, trade something, it's, obviously you can make money in this because, the spikes are awesome. The movements are awesome. But the thing is with these charts with low liquidity and not huge market caps, is when a whale comes in and they sell, like this pump happened during a live broadcast the other day, and it dumped back down. So a lot of people sort of get stuck in these charts, and that's kind of what happened with fun the other day. So this went from 6538 down to 42. So that's like, that's a huge drop when you look at it. So if we put a short, it's not gonna. So we've got, it's saying it's a 50% drop, and that's, that's huge. So potentially if you put in $100, you've just lost 50 of it. So, it has bounced at this point, and it's, is kind of slow. So if you're trading something like this, watch the RSI. And when it's getting to these overbought sort of regions, you really want to sell, because that's what the whales look for. So you can see when it got to this high here on the daily, so it's got to 86 and it's just absolutely crashed. So at this point, it's got to sort of 84 and it's absolutely come down. So that's something that you do need to look for in these coins that don't have a lot of liquidity. So if you are trading Hex or you are trading Fun, they are low liquidity coins and they do move.
Yeah, it was a staking coin. I think most people are staking this, so the amount actually being traded, I'm not sure.
Yeah, like as a staking product, it's amazing. It's one of the better ones.
It's pretty much the original, I think.
Yeah. So
I'm up nearly 300% on it since I've had it. So, and I've staked it for a couple of years. It's just one I forget about now.
Well, that's all right. But for people,
I'm not trading it. If you know, I think love him or hate him, Richard Hart does get out there and market. And
he does market, and that's what you do need to do. They have an amazing, strong community behind this coin. So. Yeah.
I mean, so many of these other projects, they're sitting on huge amounts of coins themselves. They go through these hype cycles, and people lose their shirt on the majority of altcoins as the reality. And as I say, like the guy will hate him. He's no dummy, and he's out there pushing the project hard on the daily, which I respect. So yeah. Anyway, that's good stuff, Lisa.
Cool. Yeah. So thank you guys for all watching. There's lots and lots and lots of comments. And sorry I didn't get to see any of the comments today. There was just like so many charts.
And happy 12th. I'm sure it's the 12th birthday. 12th birthday for Bitcoin.
You sure it's not the 13th?
You're not. It was yesterday.
You sure it's not the 13th?
You should know. You should know. You're gonna be. If you're wrong, it's going to be embarrassing. I'm saying 12.
I'm saying 13.
I wouldn't.
I could be wrong.
You're gonna get a ribbon if you're wrong.
No, that's all right. I don't need to know these things. It's like,
okay. Yeah. Sure. All righty. So thanks once again.
Cool.
I'll have a little chat with you offline. Make sure you tune in Wednesday, people. I've been really talking to some pretty interesting people from a fundamental point of view. Got a lot to share on that show. This is obviously a TA show, but yeah, tune in Wednesday for our 1 Bitcoin and 32 Ethereum fundamental show. It will be fun. We actually might even do that live in the next week or two. Also, Lisa, once again, thank you very much. Thank you for watching.
Thank you.